apai se sau no ala e Samoa amata ususu lea yulia luile atoa sulu ile malo mama lua ile tuinga salani le uua ovale ila awalunga ioleta so asili le mata ina fai mama lule fai ba isilile sila sila taula wangaba isio sasa ele mama luna eoula esilia tulava iona poneila Samoa mama lua ila valo sau noa Olo andele fua malepa o fai mali o lepa ti malepo sei fa solo fai wasao dia malene ya so ala tele la vale fata fiti awalunga le sona ta fiti e uteo fia ngafa asamo moni lava uasili fai mama lule fai mama isilile sila taula wangaba isio sasa ele mama luna ioula esilia tulava iona poneila Samoa mama lua ila valo sau tulava iona poneila Samoa mama lua ila valo sau noa
너와 마주 앉아 입 맞춰 부르던 노랫소리를 기억할까요? 우리 두 발을 나란히 맞춰 걷던 그 계절을 그리워할까요? 맑은 웃음은 노래 되어 날아와서 나의 곁에 속삭이고 수줍은 달빛에 흩날리던 향기들도 너의 품에 머물던 밤 그대 듣고 있나요? 많이 그리울까요? every stone that's been struck by the plow. There's a pile by the barn, by the sweat of his brow. The land has his heart and he rarely complains, and it holds his knees when he prays for rain. He's a dusty old car, hard and a light in the barn. He'll work the late hours and he's up before dawn. Every man has a story, and the story goes on, from a granddad's eyes to a newborn son. Why, farm is in my blood, like the sun that's on my skin. It's who I'm meant to be, it's who I've always been. It's more than just a living, it's my way of life, and it grows like seed inside my heart. That's why I farm. We always pulled through when we thought we would break. In the flood 93, in the drought 88. The Lord has his timing, 'cause only he knows that when next year comes, the crops will grow. Our farm is in my blood, like the sun that's on my skin. It's who I'm meant to be, it's who I've always been. It's more than just a living, it's my way of life, and it grows like seed inside my heart. That's why I
Though the world may shake around me, still I'm stable. As long as I'm able, I'll work this land. 'Cause when heaven comes this close to work, you hold it. 'Cause life is but a moment in a bigger plan.
Why farm is in my blood, like the sun that's on my skin. It's who I'm meant to be, it's who I've always been. It's more than just a living, it's my way of life, and it grows like seed inside my heart, living on long after I depart. That's why I farm. That's why I farm.
Good day, pals. It's your girl SP. I decided to finally try to make a voiceover. I mean, I don't want to lie. I have wanted to make a voiceover a lot of times, many times I said, well, I'll try to make a voiceover. But then I'd be like, well, I'm not so sure. And every time I do want to make a voiceover, I'd be like, let me go on a voice changer. uh, sometimes I'd say I was annoyed by my own sound, my own voice. But, anyways, today I decided to try. Um, I wanted to talk so much more about this topic of homemaking because I'm starting to feel like a lot of people associate homemaking with just being Like you're being a typical wife, you're tending to your home, which is okay. And it does not really mean you're being a typical wife. Homemakers aren't necessarily people who are married. That's not always the case. And also, just apart from that, I wanted to emphasize and I wanted us to talk very openly and very broad about what do we think homemaking is? What does it comprise of? W- What are some of the things that, are toxic even about homemaking today? Because I think everything can be very beautiful, but also as society, we have our own way of putting sort of toxic traits to it. Just a simple example. I mean, slow living, intentional living, those things are amazing. Being minimalistic and so on. But also today, we're finding videos where someone is sort of helping you, assisting you how to not to become toxic to yourself as a minimalist, or as someone who's doing like a slow who's living a slow paced life. So I want us to talk about laid out there everything about homemaking. And also, I don't want to rant a lot, like I don't want to talk a lot, but I do want to just give my own understanding of homemaking. I don't want to lie. Well, if I always have to make a voiceover, or if I do a voiceover just for today's video, I'd have to take it from the top. I am very nervous, by the way. I'm sure that can be heard very clearly in my voice. But I want to talk about. I've been teaching for the past. I'm still teaching until to date. I've been teaching for the past 7 years. I started teaching before I even got my degree. Um, I just only had a TEFL by then, and I went on until I got my degree eventually. And I don't want to lie, online or ESL world and online world, it really took a lot for me. I got very tired. I think it's just like any other job, which makes you tired, fatigued. You don't want to do anything. You're lazy. It's the reason why when people sometimes work a lot, they also tend not to eat at times healthy food, because work takes a lot of energy from us. So the point I'm getting to is that I worked so much being stuck on a computer. I have bad eyesight because of that. Honestly, terrible. My eyes are terrible. And also another thing is that because of that, because of working so much, a lot, and having so much difference, time zone with China, because most of my students are from China and also out of mainland, I could not clean again. I could not really. I could if I wanted to, but there was no time for it. So, oh, that's my boo there. Okay, well, my husband, by the way, is a barber. So if you need a great haircut and you want to do your brows and all of that, face steaming, well, he's your guy. Okay, so I lost touch with doing like housework, like how I was taught, how I used to clean and wash and do all of those things. I wouldn't do them anymore because I was tired. So because of that, I found myself just feeling lazy, not being, not being motivated for anything. So when I started this channel, I said, I really would love to be authentic. I would love to show struggles of my life. I just want to put my life out there and be vulnerable and be weak and not be shy to show, you know, to show things as they are, because sometimes it's not always a perfect picture. Just like my husband's house, it's not painted. It needs a paint though. So I can't hide that, cannot hide that. I'm going to show it, you know. As long as it's fine and clean, that's all. So my point is homemaking. I decided this year I want to like learn how to cook again because I feel like, well, back when I used to cook as a teenager and now it's been so long, the way people cook today, it's really changed and it's gotten better and advanced. So I wanted to learn how to cook again, and I had to learn from from the teenage children that I'm raising. I did say I'm a mama. I'm a mom, and I've raised three of my cousins who are practically young adults now, 20, 21, and my niece and nephew. My niece is 18 this year. So I have raised them. I've been a part of their life for so long in each and every way, financially, in each and in every way you can imagine, in each and every way possible. So they had to teach me how to. This is how you cook now. This is how you spice your food now. And I learned a lot as well from my husband's cousins that you would see on the videos as well. So homemaking for me is it's not just about cleaning and cooking and doing housework, it's very different from housekeeping. So homemaking for me is it's a space for both men and women to show their creativity, to show it's more like a beautiful piece of artwork, but that allows you to live a healthier life, that allows you to live a self-sufficient life, that allows you to serve your family, to serve your environment or the earth, to serve your community, to serve your husband, to serve your spouse, your partner, whoever, even to serve yourself. But most importantly, homemaking is about serving God because, you know, cleanliness um is very, godly. So as I was saying, cleanliness is next to godliness. That's yes, I got it right, which is very similar in different religions and also in Islam as well. We have such. Anyways, it's not a place for, where we indulge so much on, you know, talking about it's about talking about ourselves and our growth and what we'd love to do, what we would love to learn, relearn certain habits we'd love to unlearn, as well as just being successful in our own ways, and talking about some of the things that are toxic, that are sort of putting pressure on us, as young people, as older people as well. Everyone is very, very welcome. So for me, homemaking it's a connection to God as well. It's a connection to caring about, like caring about the earth, the environment. Um, it's very, very broad than just cleaning and cooking. And as I put and relate self-sufficiency to it, I think, sorry, that I'm doing the justice to it because it's very, very relevant. A lot of homemakers, even in our history, in our past, um, well, women also at the time as well. And I'll put men both as well because women used to take care of their homes, they used to have gardens, they used to um, understand so much about nature as well, very associated with nature. Men used to take care of their homes and families, which is still a huge part of homemaking. I'm sorry, I just got interrupted by my dad, but I do want to emphasize again that um homemaking is very, very close to being self-sufficient. A long time ago, we had women taking care of their homes, of their families, nurturing their children and their young. At the same time, they understood everything about growing their own food. And I mean, a long time ago, people would grow their own food into such an extent that even certain things like how people would make flour on their own from, you know, from wheat to, turning it into flour. So you find that that is again what is relating to self-sufficiency, that it is important for us to understand that homemaking is not just about cleaning your home every time or cooking every time. Yes, those things are a huge part of it, or baking. It's a way of life, it's how you live every day. And honestly, not to lie, homemaking today, it's the reason why certain countries and certain nations are I'm looking for the word, they are collapsing. I'm not saying I'm making this as relevant examples, but I'll just put it, because it's fact. You're finding that in some countries in Asia, for example, like Japan, a lot of women are, they were like, they used to be homemakers. They were staying at home and taking care of their children, and then they got sort of modernized, or what we say westernized, and they started to, they wanted to join the corporate world. They got more and more educated, or decided to further their education, and they started to work more. They don't want to have children, like before, or as much. You're finding that they're having problems of population declining, and whatever the other reasons may be, but also it's there. So it is important for us to even understand that without homemakers, I mean, nations would collapse, you know, economies would collapse as well, And also, it's one thing understanding that homemaking is, it's that one beautiful job in the world that, you know, one that it's not about being paid or not being paid. You're not being paid for it, but it's one job that no one can take away from you. It's one job, just like people today would say, certain people would say, my dream is to be married. Well, I mean, don't discourage, people do have such dreams, is to be married and have a family. you know Same thing like homemaking, that it's one of those things that you don't just get anyway. It's one of those things that are such a pleasure to for you to have, and to do, and to be a part of. As I'm saying, it's honestly, it's such a beautiful way of life. I don't want to start linking homemaking to, I think I already have, just that I didn't say permaculture, but it is very, very relatable as well. So I think, let's share a lot about, what do you think homemaking is to you? What are some of your homemaking tips, hacks, some of the advice you would like to give to homemakers, some of the toxicity associated with homemaking or homemakers, or some of the traits that we're able to see from people who are into homemaking. And also, not always just saying homemaking is like the traditional way of life, but mixing homemaking today with our modern way of life. So I'd like to know those things from you. What do you think about it? Um, Also in this video, as you're seeing, I'm joined by Shika. She's like my home girl. She's my little friend. And she's family. So in this video, she was teaching me. I'm being taught by a 9-year old. She's 8, not yet 9. I'm being taught by a 9-year old how to do my makeup, because I do a very minimal makeup. I'm not into heavy makeup, and I can't do it. And honestly, if you look at my brows, it's because my husband did them. But if you take a look at my all my other videos, my brows are like it's just the way I do them. I can't. My excuse would be I'm left-handed. Sorry, as if being left-handed is, it's like I'm disabled. That's not the case, but that's just my excuse sometimes for not being able to do certain things which need me to be creative and so on. So she was teaching me how to do my blush here. I never really do blush, but if you'd noticed earlier on in my video here where I was making pancakes and cooking mutton curry, you would see that I my makeup was already done by then, and you can be able to see that I also did blush. And so she was teaching me how to do it here. She's amazing, she's really good with these makeup hacks. She taught me something that I wasn't even thinking about. And I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna put the video so that you may get to hear what we are talking about together. Just a little. I don't want to overdo, everything that I'm starting to do right now. I don't want to overdo it just so that people get bored and what's so on and what's not. So, there's so much more that I'll put here and talk about homemaking as well, but I just wanted to, you know, just give my piece on homemaking. Correct me if you have to, advise me if you have to, um, just say more about it if you have to. I'd love to hear. Thank you so much. I do also would love to brag about this. A lot of homemakers, women and men, also who are like into homemaking, self sufficiency. There are people with great careers, great jobs, great educational background. It's just a beautiful way of life of people who are doing very well also in their lives. It's not that it is a job for people who are uneducated or people who are uncivilized or people who are far away from civilization. That's not the case. So it's just my point that a lot of people are very successful as well doing homemaking today. I think it's very important for us to acknowledge this as well.